Hello, everyone. This is Cynthia with Healing Holden. I hope you guys are doing well today. I'm coming to you straight from my bathroom, so welcome. I just wanted to talk to you today about a subject that I hadn't mentioned before that might prove helpful to your healing journey, if it's for you or for your child. I had a friend whose son was getting, seen by Dr. Osborne and getting chelated, and he had gluten sensitivity and everything. And he had a couple of younger siblings. And I didn't mention anything to the parents because we were already talking about a lot of stuff and they were already jumping on the bandwagon. But I saw one of the little girls, well, I guess they're a little girl, the only one, running around with like a lip gloss, like those plasticky, dollar store lip glosses. And I was sitting there thinking, oh man, there's probably some gluten in there, or maybe some kind of chemical that is not good for her brother. And if she's got it and is like kissing him or anything, it can give him a problem. And I was thinking of that because when I worked for Dr. Osborne, we had a patient who was gluten sensitive, and he all of a sudden had a relapse and he was having trouble again. And he was having all the markers of having ingested gluten, but he hadn't been eating any gluten. He's like swearing up and down, I haven't been cheating. So it turned out that he had a new girlfriend who used lipstick that was, whatever his girlfriend wanted to use. And when they finally figured out that it was whenever he spent time with her that he was having the worst of his reactions, it turned out that they went and they looked into it and they found out there was gluten in her lipstick. So, they were kissy wissy. So anyway, they removed that and everything was fine ever after. But I wanted to kind of take you around my bathroom to kind of show you some of the things that I've had to suss out as far as, what could potentially be a hazard for Holden, because I'm his mother and I'm kissing facing as much as he'll let me. I mean, I was hugging the boy the other day, and I don't see him as often as I'd like, so I was hugging him extra long, and he said, okay, that's enough, that's too romantic. So as moms and maybe sisters or girlfriends, we're gonna be kissing on people a lot, and maybe whoever else is using whatever product they're using, you're touching other people. So even if it's not their stuff, if you're using it and you're in the same household or you're around them a lot, you could give them basically a contact problem. Like Holden had some wipes that we grabbed. I said this in another video. We grabbed some wipes from Sprouts for him, and I hadn't checked out any. I usually get my own. I check out the ingredients really thoroughly, but I hadn't seen the ingredients on this, but I thought it's Sprouts, what are they going to have? Well, his face blew up because one of the markers on his sensitivity test, man, I would do this all the time. Okay, I got to go show you. Sorry. This is part of my charm, right? So this is the Elisa Act Test that Holden took, and this was like the most expensive test we did. This tested for like 370 something, or maybe it's 60 something. 317. So here we go. 317 substances. And these were his strong reactions, and these were his moderate reaction. So you have to like completely go around and eliminate things like, the yellow food dye, which I had already done. Let's see if I can get it closer to you so you can read it better. There you go. Xylitol. And then this stuff, I gotta look at it. Sorry. Where is it? Okay, sodium benzoate. That is what was in his wipey. But then a lot of this other stuff, this Pilo, whatever it is, and this one, that was in detergents and in toothpaste. He had xylitol on the list, and that's in almost every toothpaste that you get, whether it's natural stuff or not. So we had to do some cleaning out of my stuff as well as his stuff. So let me show you what I ended up with. Just because you eventually ingest the xylitol, I got this stuff, this charcoal toothpaste. I was making my own toothpaste for a little while, but that got kind of, you know, a little bit too difficult. And this stuff was really good. I got some of this just because it was on sale. It was a new product that went out. This does have xylitol, so this is my toothpaste, but I figure I'm I'm washing it out. He's probably not going to get too much of it. But other than this, that's the only xylitol thing I really have in the house. So it's more like, you know, things that are going to be topical that I could, you know, spread to him. I make sure there's nothing in there. But this stuff is amazing. I really like it. It totally whitens your teeth really well. And it's non-abrasive. So like I was using baking soda before, and you know, it's very abrasive on your teeth to use baking soda to like get all the scum off and whiten. This stuff is non-abrasive and it's amazing. It whitens better than that. So his toothpaste is this very simple. He doesn't like it. I mean, it's not bad. I've used it and it's really effective. Like I think it makes my teeth cleaner. Like it feels cleaner than even my toothpaste, but I saved my pennies for this one. This is a Willetta salt toothpaste, and it just basically has nothing in it that he can't have. It's just salt and some other stuff, but none of the stuff that's on his list. So that's kind of what we went through, is just kind of getting it to the bare basics, making sure everything that was on the list of things that he was sensitive to wasn't going to be a problem. So there's that. And then, yeah, that as far as the teeth are concerned. And then I kind of made my own mouthwash. I had this really lovely bottle from an organic tequila. It's Carlos Santana's organic tequila. So while you're in the bathtub and you want to know what to do, what to drink, this is great. It's really delicious, y'all. But I really like the bottle. I don't like to waste things. So I was like, I'll just make that into a mouthwash or some other kind of container. Put some little tassels on it that I had around. And what this is 1 part hydrogen peroxide to 2 parts water and some drops of peppermint oil. That cinnamon toothpaste is almost gone, so I'm not even using it anymore. But when I put cinnamon oil in a different, you know, when I had it before, and now I've just switched over to peppermint. So I'll do that. I'll kind of make my own little scented oils, like a perfume. This is a vodka bottle. Y'all, I'm not a lush, I promise. I just like these, you know, when you get this, you know, organic stuff, you tend to get some pretty nice, you know, quality items. And I just don't overdo it. I mean, I noticed the change from when I had all this commercial stuff that I get testers for and everything. I had all these products and it was just basically trashing up my place. Now it's almost like you go to minimalization. So I have like, I get like a jojoba oil or, you know, almond oil, whatever's on sale is basically what I get. And then I'll pour it in a bottle. Let me turn you around. And let's see if I can turn you around. Can I turn you around? I can turn you around, but I'm going to break all my stuff, right? There we go. So here's a few other products. So I've got like a mother load of oils. You know, tea tree oil is excellent for fungus. Rosemary oil is great to make a DIY shampoo. Lemon. Castor oil is great for your hair if you want to do like a conditioner. So like that for the conditioning part. And then rosemary and peppermint. I don't have it here. I have it in the kitchen. Lavender oil for DIY. If you want to do a lotion or if you want to do a detergent, because that's also a potential problem is detergents. We have to, you know, sometimes I'll make it if I really need to be on the cheap, and sometimes I'll just buy it. But I've got a whole host of oils like that. And there's some, Evan Healy has a really good brand. Before I found keto and fixed my pimple problems with keto, I got this Evan Healy stuff. And there's also, you know, things like deodorant that you have to watch out for. So like this is a magnesium oil that's like for muscle sprains or, you know, if you're working out and you hurt yourself, you rub it on yourself. It's also good for autistic kids. It's basically, you can get a magnesium oil and then you have to put it in a carrier oil. Otherwise you'll get too itchy. But I'll put this on Holden from time to time to help him with the detox process. And there's also Epsom salt baths for detoxing. It's great for muscle problems, but it's also, yeah, that's my salt. My Sally the bunny. And that's my little Uruguayan horn it's a spoon. Okay. This stuff is excellent. It's just, you can't always do a bath just in the interest of time. Like sometimes you got to shower at the point. So if I don't do the bath, then I'll do that. And it just helps with detox. Well, that makes a really good deodorant. And then, you know, I'm a lady. So I do have some things that I'd like to kind of keep in check, like, you know, making sure that like circles under my eyes and bags under my eyes aren't too bad. And then trying to keep my skin relatively youthful looking and hydrated looking and in shape. So I've got this My Shell retinol, but I just basically go by what is on sale. What can I afford? Sometimes I can't afford it at all, but if I can, you know, if I can find something, if I can find something that is on sale and has like none of the bad things that I can have, then I'll go ahead and go for it and use it. So anyway, let me put you back. So there's more I want to show you. So a couple of the other things, baking soda is like my best friend to me. It balances the pH in like your armpits or any other creases that you want to balance. It's also a great exfoliant for your skin. So that's kind of my, I always joke that that Big Fat Greek Wedding movie where I think her dad, Windex was his like magic cure for anything. Like if your elbow hurts, spray Windex. I use baking soda for all things. So, okay, I'm gonna try and show you this. So a couple of other things I was thinking about, there's different makeup products. And one thing, you know, again, I'm a girl, I like to smell yummy. Just for my own sake. Or the other day I was kind of sweaty and I had to go somewhere fast and I didn't want to stink it up. So I put some perfume on, some old perfume I used to have that I still kept because I really loved it. It's called Elisa Le Parfum. There's another one called Scalpers that I'm dying to get from Spain, but I'm torn because I don't really want to have anything, you know, artificial, but I really like the smell. So it kind of clinched the issue the other day because I sprayed a little bit on it. It had been forever since I used a perfume, you know, like a chemical perfume, and I couldn't handle it. Like it smelled so artificial. It didn't even smell good anymore. And that's the thing, when you it's kind of like the diet. When you switch over to getting quality stuff, getting natural things, you become more attuned and more sensitive to the things that are not good for you, which is kind of good because, you know, you become the canary in the coal mine. You know, somebody was saying how good something smelled in the mall, and I was like, yuck. You know, you can smell the things that are bad for you. Anyway, so instead, the thing that I had been doing for like at least a year now is they have these little, this is from a company called Kitsch, and it's an aromatherapy. I'm gonna have to monetize this, y'all. It's a little locket that's an aromatherapy locket, because you can put the oils on, but you have to kind of keep reapplying it or else it doesn't, you know, you don't smell like it anymore. It dissipates really quickly. But this has like a little felt thing inside, and it comes out. I don't want to take it out all the way. Now I'm getting that smell on my fingers, which is jasmine. It smells delicious. So you kind of soak the felt and you shut it and you wear it around your neck as a locket. And that kind of has, this keeps the scent forever. Like it still smells like it. It's been months that I put it out, many, many months since I put the oil on it. But that kind of gives you that same, you know, feeling of of having that fragrance without having a problem. And then, you know, if I don't want to wear that because it doesn't go with whatever I'm wearing, I have this little like roll-on oil so that I can reapply it, and I just keep it in my purse. You can get these little bottles real cheap from a Hobby Lobby or something like that. And then I'll just, you know, put in a coconut oil or a jojoba oil as a carrier, and then stick whatever fragrance. I've got like geranium, rose. I love sandalwood, jasmine. So this one's jasmine. This is what I put on there. So a few other like brands. I like Mineral Fusion. They have some really, you look at the, like their SPF, this one is a BB cream, all-in-one, makeup moisturizer, blah, blah, blah. And it's also got sunscreen, but it's titanium dioxide, which is like the only one you want to get. And I don't use it very much, but when I do like go out in the sun, or if I'm going, you know, out, I will use it. And a couple things to know for sunblock. Again, back to God's infinite wisdom, the foods that grow during the summer and the hot weather, like watermelon and berries, those actually have components and compounds in them that will protect your skin from sunburn, really. So if y'all ever are going to go to the beach or anything like that with your kids, take a watermelon, take some berries, or eat them beforehand, because it will protect your skin. Whatever's, you know, the compounds that are in them, and I don't know what they are, I learned this from Dr. Osborne, will protect your skin. And you can, you know, just make that a point to eat it all summer, and then you're good to go at the pool or the beach or whatever. But that's also something I do. But titanium dioxide is really like going to be the safest SPF that you can use, even though titanium dioxide can actually, because of the way they mine it, sometimes there's lead. So you just have to, you know, that's why I use it sparingly. Like everything I use, you know, if there's any component that there might be some kind of risk, I just use it sparingly. So Mineral Fusions has some nail polish, which is what I'm wearing. And, you know, mascara. There's another brand called Pacifica. They're pretty cheap. I mean, these are pretty cheap. There's Dr. Hashuska, and that's a pretty expensive line. I would get it, but I don't want to spend that kind of money. Burt's Bees is also good. And it's just, I'm just showing you the different ones that I've been able to find that don't have a lot of chemicals and can be very good to have. Soaps too, I have to go through the ingredients of the soap. So this is the only one that I could find at the store the other day that was okay for Holden. And that's okay, because I mean, once you've got like the essential oils and things like that, you don't really need much. You know, you have what you need. And if you keep things clean, they're not going to be stinky. So, so one last thing that I kind of wanted to show you was henna, because, you know, I'm getting older, and even, you know, even when I was younger, I liked to color my hair and, you know, have fun with my hair and stuff. Because, you know, we're girls, or at least I am. Holden's not. But I ran into a lady at the airport, and she was clearly in her 70s, but she had this glorious red hair. I mean, it was just like luminous and beautiful from the inside. And I'm like, what did you do to your hair? It's beautiful. And she's like, oh, this is just henna. You know, so like, I thought henna was bad for your hair. And so she kind of gave me a little bit of a tidbit that I pursued. She's like, no, it's just when you know, it depends on the brand. So I'm like, why? What does the brand have to do with it? And it turns out if you have colored hair, which at the time I did, I had highlighted it, and I repented immediately, because I was like, oh, what am I doing to the environment and myself? But I didn't want to, I found out that you can break your hair if you henna on top of anything that you've already processed. So like whether it's a straightening treatment or highlights or a previous dye job, you can break your hair, but it only applies to the hennas that they add mineral salts to. And I don't know why they add mineral salts to it, y'all. I didn't look that far, but they do. So what you need is like an unadulterated henna. So you just have to find the right brands, and it's super cheap. So like all of this stuff is things that you can do on a dime, like making your own. Like I make my own dishwashing detergent. I make my own laundry detergent, although I'll buy my own too, because sometimes the laundry detergents, they'll like leave little spots, like they don't wash out properly. So I got to figure out how I can make it work. I'm sure somebody's made it work just fine, but I haven't yet. So sometimes I'll buy and just check all the ingredients. But it ends up being a lot cheaper when you make it yourself. You know, it's a lot of stuff like baking soda and stuff that, you know, like the hydrogen peroxide is like pennies on the dollar. So you really end up saving quite a bit. And the same thing applies to like hair coloring, because hair coloring, you know, it has all the fumes and chemicals. So if you're around your child with autism, or if you yourself are sensitive like I am, you could, you know, cause yourself to have a chemical burden that you don't need. There's enough out there. The other thing is it's actually healthier for your hair. And there's a lot of talk out, you know, about how henna is messy and stuff. And to me, it's not. Like if you get good quality henna, so I've got a couple of brands that I've gotten. The one that I remember is called Nupur. And I talked to a lady from India that I used to work with, and she told me she used that all the time. And I kind of checked it out, and because I liked the way her hair looked. And then I did a little research on it and didn't have anything bad. It had a lot of really good herbs like amla and just some really conditioning herbs. And that's the thing with henna is it's, I get a lot of compliments on my hair. And it's, I mean, I haven't cut it for a year because of COVID. Not because I'm afraid, but because I don't wear masks and I can't find somebody that will cut it without wearing a mask. I did find someone, but then when I was going to get it cut, I got sick, so I didn't want to hang out with them and get them sick. So we canceled, and I just haven't done it. But I do maintain, you know, keep it from getting too dry and keep it strong and keep it from getting too yucky looking. It's starting to get really stringy. With the henna, because it will thicken it. What it does is open the cuticle and allow the pigment to go inside. And then it kind of, because the pigment's inside underneath the cuticle, it kind of thickens it. I think when you color your hair in general, that happens anyway. But this stuff also conditions your hair. So you end up with this like, and makes it shiny. So you end up with this glossy stuff. And right now, I mean, I don't know if you can tell, I've got some like grays, and you know, it'll be like, I can buy a kilo of henna and have it like for $7 at the Indian grocery store, and then have it last for 6 months. So it's really cost effective too. Like this is like on a shoestring budget. So I kind of wanted to, I had to do it today. So I figured I'd do this video while I was doing this, because I really hate to have to do it, because then you're going to see I'm going to walk around like for the next 3 hours with a bag on my head. It's going to be cute. But you know, for your sake, I'll do it. And it lasts about like a month and a half before your grays grow out. Or in some cases, like when you're getting older, your hair starts to look a little bit dull, or maybe when you're younger too. It just, the henna just brightens it up and makes it look pretty. So one of the things you have to do, if you get the powder of henna, you have to mix it with some kind of acid type of, some kind of acid. You mix it with water and you get it like this brownie consistency. So see how it's kind of like brownie batter? Sorry, not brownie, but brownie batter, or, you know, where it's kind of, or pancake batter. And then you let it soak for like 3 hours in whatever acid liquid you put in it. So you can put coffee, you can put in wine, like old wine. You can put in vinegar, you can put in juice, like an orange juice or a lemon juice, or you can put in citric acid. So depending on what you put in, it'll make it either darker or lighter. So like citric acid, I tried it because somebody said it was better, and it didn't cover my grays. It didn't really let it penetrate. And I did read later that it was going to be lighter, you know, better. I don't know what that meant. I guess that the color stays longer, but it's not as intense. So I really like to use red wine. Especially since people seem to want to give me red wine that's not organic. So I'll just use it for my henna, or I'll have it and I don't drink it much. So I'll just have some leftovers, and By then it's, sour and almost vinegary, so I'll just pop it in here. But there's a really cool book. Whole Foods used to sell it. I wanted to get it, but wasn't going to spend money on that. It was about how you can mix different vegetables and things like indigo if you want dark, brown or black. You can mix indigo with it. And there's sellers online for that kind of stuff. But I mean, I highly recommend if you're trying to go the route of not using a lot of chemicals in your life and kind of making sure your the environment doesn't have anything like that in it, so you have the least amount of toxic burden, for your child or for you. I highly recommend, if you're coloring your hair, it's like dark hair colors, dark hair dyes, commercial hair dyes, they're supposed to be carcinogenic too. And I've heard of someone who had lymphoma from it. So that's a good reason to get rid of your dyes and maybe go to a henna. Now, henna tends to be a little bit reddish, which I love. But there's other things, like if you're blonde, you can use amla. And if you're, you can do like a henna. No, I'm sorry, it is amla. So there's amla for like if you're blonde and you just want to give it like a brightness and give it the conditioning and cover gray. If you, want to go more brown, I would use, or black, I would use, coffee as an acid. You can use your coffee grounds if you want to. If you don't want to waste the coffee on it, you can just use, whatever coffee grounds, mix it in there. It'll contain enough acid for you to activate the dye in the henna. But then indigo is what you need for dark brown or black hair. So anyway, they say it's super messy. It's not super messy to me. I mean, if you get some good henna, you can wash it out. So the only thing that is kind of messy about it is probably the shower afterwards, because I have my old shower curtain that I have saved specifically for my henna, for when I have to wash my henna out, because otherwise it is. So I've got like a few things here. I've got some clips, my rubber gloves, my henna. And when you mix it, you just don't want to mix it. You want to mix it with like a plastic fork. Don't use metal. And don't use a metal bowl. You don't want to, that's going to, it's going to absorb the metal from the bowl or the spoon or fork that you mix it with. So you want to use glass and plastic for it, or ceramic. And then I have a plastic bag that I put on my head because, I'll get these bags from the store and they'll get holes in them. Those bags. And I just need them to make sure nothing drips while I run around or while I sleep, because I will sleep with it on. You have to leave it on. Probably the most, annoying thing about it is that you have to leave it on for at least 3 hours for the color to take. So that's very different than normal home dyes. But I think as far as the mess, that's not a big deal, especially for the bang for your buck that you get from it. So anyway, I'm just going to I don't have a whole lot left. This was just stuff that I had frozen in excess from last time. And I wanted to use it at some point, and it thawed during the freeze here in Texas. So this is all I do because I'm monumentally lazy, y'all. I'll just like scoop it up with my hand and just stick it on my head and just kind of rub it in. That's pretty much it. I mean, I don't, some people get all, some people follow the rules, y'all, and not me. No, I just don't have that kind of time. So that's what I'll do. I'll just kind of get it in, and I'm only going to do the roots. So I'm just going to get like all into, where I can feel it on my scalp and get it all over the place. And this will wash off. This is not a big deal. When it's on your skin, it's not really going to stick around too much. If it gets on your, on your towels or anything, I use like a throwaway towel, throwaway shirt, and I'll put a towel over my pillow on my bed so it'll catch all the stuff, anything that drips off. But if you get some henna on the floor, it's typically not going to stain. I mean, it depends on if you have some old linoleum, it might, but if you've got some good ceramic, just wipe it off. I mean, just clean it off and you should be good to go. It's not real. If you've got some nice clothes, it could stain. Like, you don't want to wear a white shirt, you're definitely going to stain it. My shower curtain is definitely stained. It's pretty yuck. It looks like a murder scene. but it's, you know, it is my throwaway shower curtain. I wash it and it's all stained up, and this is what it's for. It's kind of like when you have, you know, old rags in the house. So anyway, this is what I do. I'm not going to go into it too much, but I just kind of, you know, get it all in the gray areas. And I'm not going to do the whole thing in front of you right now because you don't need to see all this, right? My little muddy head. So once I'm done with all this, I'll wash everything off, and I will literally put this bag on my head and then tie the handles around the front of my head and just run around with it for hours. Or go to sleep with it. I'll do that sometimes too. So that's just a little bit of what I wanted to let you know. Oh, another thing too is candles. I love candles because I don't use, like, I'll use vinegar in the house and other products that don't have any scent, like Bon Ami as a scrub. They're just not scented because most of that scented cleaning stuff is not good for you. So, I mean, you know, I love the smell of Fabuloso, but I know there's some chemicals you do not want to be breathing in. So I get like little candles. I'll order them online usually because I can get a good deal for non-toxic candles. And sometimes the problem with candles is that sometimes there's lead in the wicks if you get the cheap candles. And then sometimes the burning of, you know, then you're breathing the burning of that lead. And then also whatever toxic thing is in the actual, you know, wax, it's typically not, you know, it's typically like a petroleum product. So this is like either a soy candle or beeswax, and they have a nice, you know, aromatherapy kind of thing. Sometimes I get unscented candles because it's cheaper, and then just put oils on it. And the oils will burn. So I'll usually like put it, you know, in the, see how like it's melted and there's corners around it. So I'll usually put it like below where the wax is melting so that the hot wax is what's actually making the candle or making it smell good. Anyway, of course, as soon as I do a video, somebody always calls me. So anyway, that's it. I'm gonna put the rest on, put the bag on my head, answer this call. Love you guys. Like, share, subscribe. See ya. Have a really good one.